Welcome to Unleash Leadership, the podcast where bold leaders and changemakers come together to share their stories, strategies, and insights for creating a lasting impact on society. Karla Blanco is your host. For over 28 years, she has been navigating the complexities of the corporate and government worlds, a journey that's taught her that authentic leadership isn't just about climbing the ladder. It's about lifting others as you rise. Along the way, she uncovered the unwritten rules that drive success, the ones no one tells you about, but that can define your career and legacy. On this podcast, she'll sit down with extraordinary guests from around the globe, leaders, visionaries, and innovators who are leaving their mark on the world. Together, they'll explore their journeys, uncover their tips and tricks, and dive into the challenges they've overcome to inspire you to excel in whatever you're facing. Whether you're climbing the corporate ranks, building your personal brand, or leading change in your community, this podcast is your space to grow, learn, and unleash the leader within. So grab a notebook, get ready to take action, and join us on this journey to unleash our leadership potential. Before we dive in, make sure to follow Karla on Instagram, LinkedIn, at Karla Blanco Coach, Karla with a K, and YouTube at Karla Blanco Show to stay connected and get even more leadership tips and updates.
Today, I am honored to introduce Dr. Richard Osibanjo. He began his career in analytical chemistry and process engineering working with global corporations. Over time, his passion shifted toward the chemistry of people, focusing on leadership transformation and organizational dynamics. He is the executive director and co-founder of CLG, a member of the prestigious Marshall Goldsmith 100 group of coaches, and a John Maxwell certified coach, speaker, trainer, and Forbes columnist on leadership strategy. A highly sought after leadership and motivational speaker. He has a powerful message for people to lead with purpose, informed by his extraordinary career journey and over 20 years of experience working with leaders and managers of medium and large scale organizations. Welcome, Richard. It's an honor to have you here. So, share about your story.
Yeah, thank you so much, Karla. And again, really excited to be here and also to be with all your listeners all over the world. Yeah, my story actually starts with my dad, my granddad was a chauffeur back in the day. And my granddad had 26 children in total, so multiple wives, of course. So let's put our minds at check on that. And the story was my grandmother was the first wife. And my dad was the only educated one out of all the kids. So anytime my grandmother had an issue with my granddad, he always threatened my grandmother that he would take my dad out of school. And that was to put her into the submission stage. And thankfully, my dad was very smart. And so he was able to get scholarship from middle school all the way to his PhD. And the reason why I shared this story was education was my father's fundamental belief, was what took him from poverty to where God ultimately blessed him today. And as a result of that, in my family, education was something, it was a non-negotiable. Everybody had to go to school. And my dad studied chemistry. He found the silver bullet and he wanted everybody to study chemistry, at least the kids. And because, yeah, you want to say something, Karla?
Oh, wow. It's amazing that everyone in the family were in chemistry.
Oh, no, not every, that was my father's desire. He wanted all of us to study chemistry
Okay.
because chemistry took him out of poverty.
Uh-huh.
And he thought he had found the silver bullet. So he wanted all of us to study chemistry. So I'm the last of three. So I decided, to take that bullet and studied chemistry. But very quickly, one of the things I realized is my father would say, if I came back into this world again, I would want to study chemistry. My dad saw chemistry in everything because this was something he discovered in a class in middle school. And he just believed chemistry changed the whole world. And when I saw myself, even though I was studying chemistry, I did it up to the PhD level. I kept asking myself that if I came back into this world, if there was ever such a thing, and I ended up studying chemistry, would I be excited? And the answer to that was no. So I ended up discovering that what I was doing, the career I was pursuing, was one, was to make my father happy. So I was living my father's dream. But also, when I also thought deep about it, it was also a form of safety. Because again, scientists, engineers, you don't usually have enough of them in terms of numbers. So, from a job security perspective, at least back in the day, it seemed like a safe spot. But getting into chemistry, going through my bachelor's, going through my master's, then also doing my PhD, I found out that it was you are best when who you are and what you do are aligned. So, cut long story short, born in Nigeria, did my bachelor's at the University of Ibadan, did my master's at Loughborough University in England, then came to do my PhD at UC Davis, and Intel came around, and I said yes.
That is exciting. And well, can you share with us about that transition from pure chemistry to people chemistry? Share us with about that transition.
Yeah, no, Carla, I love that. So I'm still in the world of chemistry. Instead of atoms, molecules, I'm now doing the people chemistry of things. So it's from molecules to mindset. Yeah,
Mhm.
when I discovered that who I was and what I did, there was kind of a big delta. So of course, the next question everybody would ask, so what am I meant to be doing? And like what we hear all the time is always looking deep within. And I believe in this concept of why. Because when we look at anything all around us, even color, I look at your glasses, I look at the chair, I look at the flower behind you, everything there serves a purpose. It's not just there for an accident. So when we look at, I'm looking at my pen on the table right now, everything in front of me, even the headset I have on has a purpose. And I came to myself that if all these things have a purpose, there's definitely a purpose for me too. And one of the quotes I love is, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. When you do not know the reason why something exists. So if you remember this movie, Ariel, the Little Mermaid, she had just come out from the sea and she saw this cutlery on the table. It was a fork. And what did she do? She had never seen it before. She started brushing her hair with it because she didn't know any better, because she didn't know what the purpose of it was. So in our lives, in our careers, when we don't understand our why, when we don't dig deep enough into it, we have abuse, abnormal use, or even worst case, misuse. So for me, it was that aspect of really going deep on the inside. What were the things that excited me? One of the things, Vicky Espinosa would say is when you walk around, have two pieces of paper with you. When you're doing an activity, what really turned the lights on? And on the other piece of paper, when you're doing something what drains your energy. So I did a lot of that exercise with Strength Finder, speaking to people who I was close with, taking an inventory. And one of the things I always came to, what really turned my lights on, as my friend Mary Olsen Menzel will say, was when it came to the chemistry of people, the chemistry of organizations, the chemistry of leaders. That how you able to align strategy, execution, and culture. That was what really got me motivated. So like when you look at a lot of the books behind me, I wasn't studying these books as textbooks. When I was in grad school doing a PhD in chemistry, I was reading a lot of these books. If I wanted to go on vacation, I'll pick one of these books. That was fun for me. So that
Mhm.
was when I now saw, okay, like when you think of a laser is powerful because it has just one wavelength. So, and instead of doing so many things, now the question was, how do I now begin to align and prioritize? So I'm not one person during the day and a different person at night. So that's what began that journey. And another credit of a book I want to give to is Good to Great, when he spoke about the hedgehog principle is you'll be great at what you love to do. Can you be successful doing something you are not passionate about? Yes, you can. But ultimately, are you going to be fulfilled in it? So, long story short, that was a bit of the journey.
I love it how it triggered that, and you thrive when you are around people and connecting the dots for people on the strategy and execution. So really interesting that journey.
I
How?
need to give credit because I think one of the things I've been grateful being at Intel, I had really supportive managers as well who truly believe that you bring your best to the team, you bring your best to the company when who you are is aligned with what you do. And of course, we have a business and a company to run. So you have to, of course, with what you are required to do on your day job, you have to bring excellence to it, no questions asked. So above and beyond that, I was also helped or encouraged to really pursue these other things as well. So I just want to give a shout out.
Thank you, and we will go later in more into that about to talk about your mentors. But now I would like you to share about how your journey across Nigeria, UK, and USA shaped your leadership and your approach to influence.
Great story. So I think great question. um, so I think growing up in Nigeria, which I'm really grateful for, Nigeria is a very communal society. Everybody is everybody's neighbor. At times, it gets a bit too much. But again, it's a very communal society. I even remember one time I was in a taxi and one of the soccer games was going on, and a guy asked me what the score was because Nigeria was playing, and I had no idea. And he looked at me like this, and he just refused to talk to me. He said he wasn't talking to me anymore. But again,
Wow.
it's and this proverb also comes from Nigeria. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk with far, walk with the village. That's where it comes from. So I think that aspect of harmony in terms of collaboration, doing things with a team, for me, I grew up with that. That's my typical go-to mindset. When I got to England, I remember one time when I got to England and I fell in whether it was Paddington Station, I can't remember which one, and everybody was just walking like over me. In Nigeria, at least back in the day, people would have stopped to lift me up. So when I got to the Western world, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is all business. So that was a rude awakening for me. So, and of course, I really enjoyed my time in England as well. And when I got to the US, I remember in graduate school in the US, about half of the people in my class really wanted to taste Nigerian food, and my wife cooks amazing jollof rice, best in the
Oh.
world. They wanted to have a taste of it. So about half of my class, which was extremely diverse, came to my house. And that for me was, again, it brought the concept of inclusion because people were curious. They wanted to see what was on the other side, who is on the other side. And going to your question of influencing, coming from Nigeria, being in England and going to and studying in the US. Rachel Todd, I was speaking with Rachel. She was the executive director of the executive MBA program at Portland State University. And she mentions the concept that really stuck with me, and I want to use it to explain that. She spoke about the T and the I. She was using it to talk about their curriculum. And all of a sudden, it just struck me that in terms of influence, that this is it. So what is the T and the I? When you look at a lot of people in terms of I, it's like a tunnel. You just go straight, you focus on your work, you focus on what you're doing, you focus on all of that. But when you think in terms of the T, is our parents told us when you want to cross the road, you turn right, you turn left before you go ahead. So when you think in terms of the T, you're looking across. So when it comes to influencing, what that translates to in organizations is your data, your expertise is not enough. That's the I. The T part of that is the collaboration. What level of relationships do you have with your partners? For example, some people who collaborate with people on some other teams just know them as teams. They don't know the name of a person on that team per se, or they've not had lunch with them. So they just put them in a box. So in order for us to be able to influence people, again, coming from my Nigerian background, is I need to be able to build relationships with them. I have to understand how do they make decisions? What are their pain points? What are they trying to achieve? Not just what I want, not just my deliverables. So that's one of the things. And again, I've been burnt by it also. When you move from an old organization to a new organization, people know you in the old organization. In the new one, there's this concept like you're like a stranger to them. And one
Mm-hmm.
question I give in my talks or workshops is, if you met Karla at a workshop and you've never met me before, but you know Karla, and Karla is not like a friend, you've known her, you've seen her before, who is likely to get $100? Is it me or is it Karla? Most people will say Karla, but why? People don't know me. They can't trace me, they can't track me down. So the question always is, if your stakeholders perceive you to be a stranger, they're not going to place a big bet on you. So whether in influencing, whether it's your career, so you cannot afford to remain as a stranger to people. And how do you make strangers become friends or at least become familiar? It's through interactions. Interactions build trust. So very, very important, especially when you have customers you have to be working in, day out. Don't just focus on the technical side of the work. Studies have shown that humans choose and lean more towards the emotional parts of things in terms of being influenced versus its logic. So it's important to build the connection. Add that with your expertise and your influence will multiply.
Oh, thank you. I love all your insights. Enjoy them so much always. Love the I and the T. And when you mentioned the T, I didn't think about that. Looking on the different sides, I was thinking on the team. So I and a team. So it should go to team. So I now you mentioned, well, we talk about the different cultures, but also I would like to get into your background on pharma, biotech, and semiconductors. How that blend of experiences enhance your ability to solve people-centered leadership challenges?
Yeah, no, thank you for calling that out. I think it's actually one of my superpowers because I've been able to, like you mentioned, I've been in pharma, 3M, AstraZeneca, Intel, semiconductor. At some point, I did a stint with Procter and Gamble when I was in England. And even within Intel, I've had the opportunity to work within software, within our manufacturing businesses, and some of our product businesses as well. One of the things I have seen is, regardless of wherever you are, it's all we all have the same problems. We all have the same desires in terms of we want to grow our people. We want to make compelling products. We want to deliver to our customers. At times, the challenges comes through how do we get that done? So what I've been able to establish that fundamentally, there's that innate desire, the intention is there. So for me personally, what it helps in is anytime I'm in a technical organization, because of my technical background and because of the varied experience or diverse experiences I have, it helps me to foster trust with the team quickly. Because
Mm.
when they are saying a lot of technical things, at least it might not be my area, but they feel at least he can understand and get it quickly. So I don't seem like a stranger. So one of the things it does, it helps me to speak the language of the team, which is very important for being pulled into a team and being able to solve people or organizational issues.
I love it. And you're very curious. So I bet that curiosity helps you also make that connection deeper.
No, and absolutely. And I think one of the yeah, so I think you strike a very important point because one of the things you with that question you raised is what happened from when culture cannot be copied. It cannot be copied. So,
Mhm.
like you said, in order to build that trust, in order to build influence, the curiosity is important. So you don't, again, you might be the world expert on whatever you think you are, but to those people that you're just showing up, you're still a stranger. Is that curiosity, the desire to learn, the desire to understand what that team is going through is what helps, is what pulls you in, not showing up as the expert on day one. So yes, I love you calling out the curiosity on what's on the other side.
Thank you, Richard. And you are an executive coach. So share with us about practices that have helped you foster a psychological safety and cross-boundary collaboration in global teams.
Yeah, no, thank you for that question. There was a book, I think it was Edgar Schein. I think so. I think it's Edgar Schein. It was about I think the book was about asking. I think that's what the title is, but forgive me if that's not what it is. And one of the things he mentioned in that book is, in order for you to help anyone, in order for you to help anyone deeply, then you have to come across as equals. Very important. Even if, and in this stage, you're looking at the executive coach as the expert, but your client, your customer has to see you as an equal. Because if they don't, then you're not able to connect with them deeply. When you go see a doctor, you don't see your doctor typically as an equal. They are the expert. You listen to what they have to say, you think about it. Ultimately, in the US, you make the decision. In places like Nigeria, they make the decisions or tell you what to do. So being an executive coach as well, one of the things Marshall Goldsmith talks about is, number one, client selection is important. You can't help everybody and you're not for everybody. So you have to understand your values and understand that your values aligns with the person that you're going to work with. You don't have to be the technical expert on that, but your values needs to align. There's a quote in the Golden Book that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So the person themselves have to be willing. You shouldn't be doing this because my organization said I should do it. There has to be something in it for them as well. And also, one of the things I say when people want to choose mentors or coaches, if you want to climb Kilimanjaro and you need to get a pair of shoes, you are going to look for the shoes that fit. You might try 5, 6, or 7. Then once it fits, then the second question you ask, because it's a long journey, is it comfortable? So those are the things I typically, would look at. But building that trust, building that connection from the onset is critical, because you need that in order to be able to help the person help themselves. Because in coaching, the answers lies with the person themselves. You're creating an environment in order for them to really dig deep within and pull those solutions out.
Thank you for that. I love it. I love all your metaphors that you share with us always. And
Thank you.
you created an amazing concept. We both are from the bridge generation, and our parents were able to experience a very stable careers, that you will get into the job and you will probably retire in that career. You didn't experience many changes. I think when we joined the workforce, that started shifting, but nowadays it's really different even when we both joined. Can you share about career funeral and why is that so important nowadays?
Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks, Karla. And before I go into that, I also want to thank you personally, because when we met at Intel, it was, I think we collaborated on a team or a project together. And I know you have a passion for not even just coaching, but developing and helping people. And I know you've written so many books as well. And so again, I just even want to thank you, because you have also been a vital part of my journey. So I just want to give you,
Thank you.
yeah, that shout out. So going again, I agree with exactly everything you've said. Like, gone in the days. And when I got to the US, one of the first things in terms of what I heard or what I was taught, you have to be the hardest worker. And not just even hard working, also smart working as well. And like, if you're a high performer, that was kind of like your career insurance, your safety net. But let's come back to the world we're living in right now. With Look at the global markets, look at everything that is happening. In between 2024 and 2025, in the tech industry alone, about 400,000 people have lost their jobs. And when you look and you read, and it's not, they were not based on performance, they are based on market dynamics as well. So that means that strategy of being the hardest worker, the smartest worker, the high performer doesn't apply, because if a project gets canceled or something gets discontinued from, that is not going to save and protect you in the current climate that we're in as well. So as I began to think in terms of the environment that we're living in today, I began to think of a concept. I call it the 3 career box solution. And inspired by Ram Charan, he wrote a book similar in terms of something in the business world. And in the 3 career box solution is, you are looking at 3 boxes. Box 1 is your work of today. And that is really saying I have to deliver excellence. How do I bring excellence to the work that I'm doing today? No questions asked. But box two is also asking yourself the question, am I aligned to who I am? And I have a spectrum in that. And in that particular box, you are saying that a job is when who I am and what I do are two separate circles, right? A career is a Venn diagram. Who I am and what I do, there's an intersection, 20, 40, 60%, you know. And the third one is what I call the vocation or the place of your gifting. A is equals to B. Who I am and what I do are almost identical. And in that, you typically will say, I don't believe I get paid to do this, right? Studies have shown that you have the highest fulfillment, work satisfaction, life satisfaction when you're in the place of your calling. Now, going back to the question that you were asking, I just narrated the 3 career box solution. In the world we are living in today, you have to be doing the 3 at the same time. Whether you're saying 80% focused on 90% focused on box 1, 5%, however you want to do it. Because the question is, that's where I land in box 3, which is the career funeral. How do I create a future for my career, for my family, and for the world that I want to live in? And it's just simply asking the question, if I lost my job tomorrow, do I have 5 people that I can call? Is there a skill I'm investing in today that will create that future? Is there an alternative path that I'm exploring at the moment? So that's where the career funeral concept came in. But the good thing in terms, I know the name can be a bit jarring to some people, but if you go to a car lot, you go to a car lot and you want to buy a car, you can't drive out of the parking lot without having insurance. Let's think about it. People have home insurance, health insurance, car insurance, travel insurance, all sorts of insurance. But the most critical part of our lives, which is the work we do, people don't think of that concept of insurance. And in getting insurance, you typically will get it before you need it. So when it comes in terms of our careers, getting even those 5 relationships, I can't just get out of the call right now and say, oh, and just pick 5 people that I don't have a relationship with. Like Warren Buffett said, if you want to sit under a tree, you have to plant the seed. So when it comes to career funeral, it's first asking yourself that question. Is who I am aligned with what I'm doing? If the answer, whatever the answer is, what am I going to do about it? If I lost my job tomorrow, not because I slacked off, but life happened, how am I prepared for the future, whether it's financially, emotionally, and all of that? So that's where that concept comes from. And the good thing is you're still alive. So whatever, when you go through that exercise, and you can read the article on Forbes, Career Funeral, when you go through that exercise, the good thing is you're now saying you understand the opportunities. You can now say, okay, these are the 1, 2, 3 things I need to do to prepare for what's next. So that's where that concept comes from.
I love it. I love it, definitely. And it is so critical to have those 5 people, I call it board of advisors,
Yes.
that is your people, the people that surround you and will give you a hand when you need them. Thank you. But also, you say that you look forward to Mondays. What does a purpose-driven Monday look like for you, and how others can get there too?
Yeah. So looking forward to Mondays. Yeah, I remember when in some different jobs I've had before, again, growing up in my family, my dad always taught us that you have to be excellent in what you do. Whether you liked it or not, it's a mindset. You're getting paid, you're doing something, you have to give your 100% to it. No shortcuts. You don't want to be that person who's just getting a paycheck. So I never want to do a job that I'm just getting a paycheck. I couldn't last there. That's not my DNA. So Mondays became exciting the more I was able to move from the 2 boxes I said, the more who I was became aligned more with what I did, Mondays became more exciting. So that for me was the concept. So for me, I didn't have to turn on and off a switch. Like when I get to work, I turn on this switch. When I get home, I turn on another one. It was always on. And that for me was what it was. So whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, vacation, it really doesn't matter. because I'm in the place of what I was born to do. And I truly believe that's where you add your highest amount of value. So that was what it was.
Oh, thank you. Well, we see on you a successful executive, but we all face challenges. Is there any challenge that you will like to share with the audience that you faced and that really impacted you?
Oh, challenges? Oh no, no challenges at all. Of course.
You have a rosy path.
Oh, I have a lot. I'm an extrovert, right? And when people see me, they're like, "Oh, Richard, you have so much energy." Da 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 da. But the thing people don't know, and I'm being super vulnerable with you, is the struggles I had more of longer time ago, that I wasn't valuable. I didn't have anything people would, I didn't have anything to say, or not that I didn't have something to say, but I just didn't believe it was something that was valuable. So I struggled with the concept of worth. And for me, it was a shocking thing because I grew up in a loving family. My
Mhm.
father had been my biggest advocate. I was the last born, so I got a lot of love, growing up. And being the last born, I tell people like, hey, don't blame me if my parents decided to keep, when my parents found a child they wanted to keep, they stopped at me. So, hey, here I am. So, but so for me, I couldn't understand and explain it, that it was almost like I was always looking for validation. I was always
Mhm.
looking, I couldn't name it at the time. I was looking for permission, in order for me to be myself. That was a huge hurdle. And through my faith, through supported friends, I had to walk through that. So, and people wouldn't believe that when I even post things online or something, I go through a mental exercise. When you see the person talking, or people who watch this, you might not be able to connect what you see and that person of what was going on the inside. But ultimately, what really gave me my breakthrough, and that's why I'm a purpose driven, I believe in the purpose driven concept, is not about me. The more I focus about myself,
Yeah.
the more I focus about what people are thinking about me, the less value I add. And like apples don't eat their own tree, cows don't drink their own milk. The gift I've been given is not about me. So my job is to just get it out there. So
Mm.
once I think of the concept of purpose, that the gift God has given me is to be able to bless and nourish other people. It's not my job to judge it, to criticize it. It's my job to refine it and put it out in a way that people can consume. But once I've done that, I need to move away. So that
Mm.
for me was the biggest tackle and challenge that I faced, in terms of I've seen things I wanted to go for before, but I talked myself out of it. So those were the things that, I've worked on and continuously working on as well. Yeah.
What a breakthrough. I love it. Thank you for sharing those insights. I think we all go through that. And once we learn that it's not about us, it's about the others, many things change. And let's move. We are reaching the end of this, but I want you also to share about things that you feel proud of. I feel proud of your book, which I love, and I will give a gift. Oh, wow. Look, I just opened on the day 222, and it is, what are your worth? The correct answer is priceless. Dr. Richard Osibanjo, tell us more about your book and what else you feel proud about.
Um, I've been always been a person who measured my worth, or what I'm most proud of. It's through relationships and connections. Being able to, like, when I'm able to help people, ultimately they make the decisions and they take the actions to do those things that they didn't think was possible. That for me, it just pulls a tug in my heart. And so whether it's like a lot of people have reached out to me, downloaded the toolkit, like even in terms of the career funnel, of like, I never thought about that, or this has given me something to really digest. And a lot of people who ultimately became executives from the people who I went through coaching, you know, when they came in, it was a totally different conversation. 6 months, 1 year down the line, I see them in being very successful in their careers. And again, of course, they did the work, but just being a part of their journey to walk alongside them, I think is some of the things I'm most proud of. Because again, it wasn't about me, but helping other people to do those things they never thought was possible. I think that's what I hope my legacy is going to be, of helping people be their best selves and make the greatest impact possible.
Oh, I love it. And well, I experienced your presence, and your presence really lighten up our days. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for that, Rich.
thank you.
And I will leave the link on how people can find it, because it is a great book for every day. So to have a little reflection point, and I just love everything how you frame things and the metaphors. I think that also probably comes from Nigeria on the storytelling side. You are an amazing storyteller. I really appreciate that. So now to close, share with us what unleash leadership means to you and for you.
Yeah, no, great, great. And I think I'm going to explain Unleash Leadership using 5 M's. So you spoke about storytelling, so I'm going to use
Yes, I love it.
I'm going to use 5 M's. And this 5 M's, so because I just don't want to talk in terms of a book or I read, I want to talk in terms of something I experienced. And that's why I'm using the 5 M's in terms of Unleash Leadership, because you cannot change the world if you don't change yourself. When you change yourself, that's where my chemistry comes in. Then you are able to change your environment, your team, and the world around you. So the first M is the message, or the messenger. Let me say the messenger. And in this example, I often talk about if you bought something from Amazon and somebody doesn't deliver your Amazon package, and the person keeps it inside their truck for weeks and never gives it to you, or doesn't plan on giving to you, Carla, what would you call the person?
I, how come, well, I don't know how I would call the person.
Like you have something and the person is your property, but the person doesn't give it to you. They keep it to themselves. Ultimately, what would you call the person?
Selfish, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's selfish. It won't be out of the world to call the person a thief as well, because I paid for
Mhm,
this and you are not giving it to me. So what does
mhm,
that really mean when it comes to the concept of the messenger, right? Is you have a gift. And if you keep that gift to yourself, like an apple tree does not eat its own fruit, cows don't drink their own milk, then what you're actually doing is you are stealing the world's gift. It's not for
mhm,
you.
mhm,
So the messenger has to first of all identify the gift, describe it, define it, and has to deliver on it. Because if you don't know what your gift is, then how are you going to give other people? So that aspect of discovery is important. But the first concept there is don't be a thief. Your
mm,
gift is not for you. You have to share it. But in order to know what the gift is, you need to discover it. Then the second one is not going to be the message. What is your message to the world? If you've identified your gifts, the second M is the message. And that's
mhm,
where you now need to ask yourself, what's my vision? What does success look like? Again, it's not about me. But in order
mhm,
for you, so when you look at your work of today, asking the question, am I in a job? Who I am and what I do are totally different. Am I in
mhm,
a career whereby there's an intersection, but I know there's a lot more that I can do? Or am I in the place whereby who I am and what I'm doing are firing on all cylinders? The third concept I talk about is the mindset. What's the mindset I need to have in order for me to achieve my purpose, to achieve my vision, and to deliver on my mission? Very important. What's that mindset? So we need to ask ourselves, what are those
mhm,
stories? What are those beliefs that keep repeating in our mind that is limiting us?
mhm,
Very important. The other concept I talk about in terms of the M is also talking in terms of your membership. And that's when you
mhm,
spoke about Carla, in terms of your board of directors. As
mhm,
human beings, we are not wired for isolation, we are wired for connection.
mhm,
Anything that is, John Maxwell says, one is so small a number to achieve greatness. If you are going to do anything big, anything that is going to make a big impact, you cannot do it alone. So it's asking the question, In terms of career, do you have a sponsor? Do you have a mentor? Do you have an advisor? Do you have a coach? And this doesn't have to be people who are up the chain. It could be your colleagues. Some of them are your family members. Do you have them? It's critical. If you want to go far and further, like the Nigerian proverb says, you have to be able to work with a team. The last M that I talk about is talking about the marketplace. In that last M is where you make your gift accessible. Is your gift easily accessible? And one of the things I found with people who are extremely talented, but who maybe at times feel that I'm so talented, but nobody is coming to me. I'm not getting a lot of X, Y, Z. Now, the question I put to you is, are you easily accessible? And what I mean, like, for example, when you want to pluck, think of an apple tree. If the fruit is so high up in the tree that people have to get a ladder to reach it, then it's a lot of people are not going to get ladders to climb trees. So is your gift hidden? Are you making your gift visible to people? And also, even in the place of accessibility, is your fruit ripe? People don't gather around a fruit tree to start plucking it if it's not ripe yet. They walk past, but when the fruit is ready. So what that means is that if you're not getting enough traction, are you developing yourself? Are you preparing yourself? Somebody said the backstage is for preparation, the front stage is for manifestation. So if it seems that you're still at the backstage, that's the time, keep preparing, your fruit will ripen and your time will come. So again, just to summarize, in terms of, you asked the question, how do you unleash leadership? For me as a person, it comes from the messenger. Who am I? Then the second thing is, what is my message to the world? What is the gifts I need to deliver? The third thing is, what mindset do I need to have in order to achieve my goal? The fourth M is in terms of membership. Who are the people I need to work alone? I cannot sit alone during lunch all the time. I need to connect with other people. The fifth M is the marketplace. Is my gift accessible to the people who need it? If I want to catch fish, I want to be a fish farmer, then my shop can't be too much inland. I have to be close to the water in order to catch the fish. So that's what my concept of unleashing leadership is about making a difference and in people's lives and adding maximum impact.
Wow, outstanding. Thank you so much, Richard. Always enjoy so much talking to you. You definitely made my day. Thank
No,
you.
you too. Again, it's been a pleasure connecting with you, Karla. We've known each other for so many years now. Your energy, the impact that you have, you have another demographic in terms of language. I see you do both. So
Yeah.
you even have a further reach, bestseller yourself. So again, I really want to thank you for what you're doing and also the impact that you're making, not just on me, but also all your listeners. So the world is certainly a better place because of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Have
Bye.
an amazing day.